Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Marine Corps Base Camp LEJEUNE, and welcome to Inside the Battle, the competition.
Little did I know this would be one of the most mentally and physically taxing experiences I was ever going to face.
Lock your feet in, lock your feet in.
You might be wondering how I got to this point. A few months ago, the Marine Corps reached out and asked me to join a small group of creators and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to train with the Marine Combat Engineers. Little did I know that I would actually be in the field with real explosives and have the opportunity to fire an M320, which is a grenade launcher, place deck cord on doors and blow the hinges off, and so much more. The real shock factor was that none of the creators had any idea of what we were getting into because they kept all of us completely in the dark until the challenge began. This was our easiest day. They basically got our feet wet. We went to the MCX, got our camis, and met our fire squads, which is a team of 4 individuals. And little did I know that they would be the legends that pulled me through this week. We then sat in our fire squads learning about what lied ahead in the week to come. We learned how to tie a Swiss seat with knots that allowed us to cross a 1-rope bridge, and how to bounce wire that literally had razor blades attached to it. And then finally we got to do my favorite thing, which was mechanically breaching a door, because the ridiculous kinetic impact that a battering ram makes with a door. I mean, who doesn't love beating down a door?
Well, we just did a video on our channel about like force and how if you push on a wall, like you're pushing against the wall. But that has so much more force behind it than if you just like push on it with yourself. 1,400 pounds of force highly through that door, so that's much more than I could do with my little arms.
After that, we rounded out the day with a drill as a team where each creator and their fire squad were responsible for carrying out a mission that required all of us to work together. My team was responsible for placing the deck cord that would explode the hinges off the door. Keep in mind, no real explosives were involved yet.
Oh, I got way too much coffee.
We are jacked up.
I got more food than I did coffee, yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The first event of the day will be the Beast, consisting of 9 separate obstacles. This obstacle course will challenge you mentally, physically, and emotionally. If you do not work together as a team, you will not successfully complete this course. Your goal is to get all of your gear, equipment, and personnel to the finish line. All equipment must pass over each obstacle. This is a time-based event. Work together to overcome each obstacle. And remember, you're competing against 3 other fire teams, so every second counts.
I feel great. I feel the adrenaline pumping through my body. I feel alive. It's like 8 in the morning and we're already running this course, the Beast. So I feel awesome, honestly. I feel so confident in my team as well. And we've only been together for 1 day, so I'm feeling super stoked about this. I'm predicting a first place finish.
They kept telling us we were going to be crawling, walking, running, and then sprinting, but for some reason in my head I didn't fully process what they meant, because when they said sprint, they meant sprint. Because before I knew it, we were running, jumping, leaping over obstacles to get our ammo, our supplies, and our team to the other side. This obstacle course couldn't be done alone. You needed your team's help everywhere, up and over obstacles. That meant getting on a knee, hoisting ammo cans up, passing off your rifle, and running with a 10-pound ammo can if you had extra energy. If I learned anything, it's that you have to be a team player to survive. Then we got to the rope. I wanted to climb that rope so bad because, I was a gymnast. I had done that before. I made it about 90% of the way and my body gave out. I was exhausted. My arms and legs were weak, and the worst part was that I felt like I was failing my team because I was putting myself first instead of my teammates. I wasn't having a team mindset. I wanted to climb the rope and prove that I was strong, I was capable, and because of that, I ended up potentially costing our team first place. Because I didn't make it to the top of that rope, I had to come down and do 10 burpees. And the best part is my team didn't make me do it alone because they already understood that team mindset.
The Marines teaches you no ego amigo, like your ego is not your friend, and I learned that today. And I think going in, I was like, I can do this, I can be a hero, I can like crush this, but I've learned through this one obstacle course, and this is the first thing we're doing today, that like you have to rely on your team. There's no way I could have done that obstacle course by myself. Like I had to have them with me, and at the end I wish I would have relied on them more as we built that bond through our run. So I am for sure no ego amigo from now on. Being a female, I felt like I had to come in and improve something, but you don't. As a woman, this makes you feel powerful, strong, and I honestly feel so in touch with myself and in touch with like primal instincts that it's incredible. If I was a woman considering this, I would do it 1000% because you're gonna discover pieces of yourself that you didn't even know existed.
After we caught our breath from running the beast, we were off to our next location in the 7 tons.
We did it! We rode in the 7 ton. That's probably the coolest thing we've ever done.
Friction, uncertainty. A map can only tell you so much. Your next event will be the gap crossing. You have to work together as a team to cross the wet gap. Work together, tie your knots, cross the gap. You will be judged not only on how fast you cross it, but also how well you work together as a team.
Once you were all tied into your Swiss seat, it was time to cross the river. Not only did you have to use teamwork to get up onto the rope, then you had to hope friction didn't slow you down. Because of the slack in the rope, you ended up with a V in the center of the river. Thankfully, I was able to use science, and I knew to conserve my energy on the downward slope so that I could use all of my strength on the uphill side of the slope to make sure I got to the other side of the bank.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This will be your 3rd event for the day, urban breaching. You and your team will do first an aerial reconnaissance of the objective. After you've developed a plan, you will then make entry with explosive means and enter the structure. Once inside the structure, you will then think through the problem set and continue to clear the house. Work together as a team, ensuring that you maintain security at all times and you quickly go from room to room. Your time will stop once the house is cleared. I want to talk through how everybody did on these last 2 runs. We have Team 1 and Team 3 are tied for 1st place. Each of you have 8 points. In 2nd place right now, we have Team 4 with a total of 2 points. And then bringing up the rear, we've got Team 2.
Right now, my team is tied for 1st. I have no doubt that they're going to do an incredible job. We've done a great job setting up as a team, and so I have full faith that we're going to set this up properly, and it's going to go incredibly smooth. We're already practicing how to clear out a room, how to clear the space. We've taken all the notes that are needed, knowing that the doorknob is on the left side, the first door is wooden. The second question is, how are we going to get inside? Do we want to use a hooligan? Do we want to use the battering ram? How are we going to break down that second door and clear out that building? So I'm going to go converse with them, and hopefully we'll have a plan here in a little bit, but I'm feeling really confident about this one.
At this point, I was nervous. This is our first event that used explosives. If we were to take 1st place, everything had to go right, which is exactly when everything started to go left. When we took off running, Cervantes dropped his knife, but thankfully, because he's trained to think on his toes and always be prepared, he had a second one handy, so he could cut the wire after the det cord had detonated using our royal arms, which helps create a charge that fires off the detonation from a farther distance away. Spencer and Cervantes ran up to the building and connected the det cord to the hinge side of the doors and ran the cord all the way back behind the structure that we would be standing behind, that would be absorbing most of the shock when we were hunkered down ready for the blast. And Cervantes yelled yellow because the cord wouldn't connect to the royal arms. He made the right call, asking our team for help to ensure that you and your team were staying safe. Our safety range officer came over to help ensure that everything was okay and that everything was connected properly. Then
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And at 1, you breathe all the air out of your lungs so you don't have an air bubble in your chest. Because the shockwave that's created by that detonation is enough to rile you completely and make any extra air in your body shift uncomfortably. Then we were in. We cleared the room and I used the battering ram to knock down the door that was inside. I had so much adrenaline pumping through my body that I was ready for round 2.
That was gnarly. I've never cleared a room before. That boom was big. Honestly, wasn't as big as I thought it would be, but like big. I mean, the way you come up to this door and it's just like blown out, and then one of our guys just bodied it and just like came down. Like, this was the coolest thing I've ever done, truthfully. And like, to be able to get in there at the battering ram and then knock them down and then clear out that room, honestly, one of the best experiences. Seriously, 10 out of 10 experience. I'm like blown away. Get it? Because, you know, the door blew away. Oh, feeling that explosion is unlike anything you're going to feel either in a video game or just even lighting off fireworks. The way it detonates and with such force and aggression through whatever surface it is on, and the fact that you get those shock waves that travel outside, and the fact that you feel them behind a huge building is mind-blowing. Even though you have this giant obstacle in the wave travels through the building onto you still, and it honestly feels just kind of like this boom, and everything in you just kind of like drops a little bit. I was blown away by it, honestly. The amount of science, the pressure, the forces, everything at play to make this thing happen, it was mind-blowing, an incredible experience. I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous going in. Even though I had an amazing team of Marines by my side fighting alongside me and being with me every step of the way, there were still those nerves of what if the explosion doesn't go correctly? What if the door doesn't open? How are we gonna get there? How are we gonna get in if the door isn't open, if it's yellow, if it's because green is go through the door, it's wide open. We had a yellow, and fortunately our Marine was able to think on his toes, and he just bodied the door, headed into the room, cleared it. I followed in behind him. And so, I mean, it's not a perfect execution every time, and you can expect it to be, but the way that they think on their toes so quickly and methodically, it's admirable, honestly. To be a Marine, it makes you appreciate your body and your capability that much more. The fact that you're able to be out here exhausted, thirsty, tired, hungry, and they're still cheering you on, and it's no man left behind, and the fact that you are picking each other up and carrying on one step after another, it's inspiring. I have pushed beyond my physical limits that I thought I would ever be experiencing, and the fact that I'm out here and that we just ran into a building and cleared it is honestly mind-blowing at the end of the day. After we had ran the beast, we had crossed over a giant body of water. I mean, the physical exhaustion we're feeling right now, and they probably experience on a daily basis, is insane. But I mean, you power through, the adrenaline gets pumping. You just want to go, go, go and do and be a better person. Right now, we're still tied with Team 1, but I really feel like there's going to be a big push. Regardless of where my team stands, I know we have the power, the will, the guts to push beyond and potentially come out on top.
Shoo! Day 2 of the competition. I was sore, tired, but ready to carry on with my fire team. Today we were starting at the firing range.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This will be your 4th event. Today, we will be shooting the M320 grenade launcher, a weapon system that is capable of obliterating a target at 150 meters away. Today, you'll be shooting the 40 mic grenades at approximately 150 to 200 meters. To reach your grenade range, you must move together with your fire team with full gear and equipment up to the firing line. Accuracy, teamwork, and attention to detail is the criteria that each fire team will be judged on.
My team was hungry for that first place spot, and we had points to make up with our accuracy firing M320 grenade launchers and with the Moss rockets.
I loved it, truthfully. Like the way that you feel it kick. I have trigger finger where when I'm going to pull the trigger, I want to like tense up and like pull back, but like you're supposed to just like relax into it. But I knew that I had that, and I knew it was something I was going to be facing. So out there on the range shooting grenades, that was, I mean, or the Cheeto Puffs. We shot Cheeto Puffs is what they call them technically. But I hit the target, so that was amazing. That was a really good feeling. And just seeing TJ, the other Marine on my team, absolutely crush it out there was awesome.
I hit 1 target, but my teammate TJ hit 4 of the 5 targets. Not to mention, one of his was so on target that before the grenade exploded, there were sparks everywhere because it made such great contact with the tank before it detonated. Now it was time for Spencer and Cervantes to launch the Moss rockets. You're not even going to believe this footage.
It blew out the back of the thing.
That was
Like,
crazy.
that power was ridiculous. All that grass that was sitting on the field that they mowed is just dry was literally all blown backwards. That was insane.
This was beyond rad, and honestly my inner nerd was showing because we were able to see the spirals inside of this bazooka. The reason that there's grooves within the bore on the surface of a rifle barrel or on a giant rocket launcher like this is because it helps create a spin on the projectile and stabilizes it, increases its accuracy and its distance. And those grooves in a spiral shape help it come out of the barrel already spinning, creating more aerodynamic stability, so it doesn't go all haywire all over the place. Those rockets rocked our world. In reality, my team was on fire. I think we had made up our points and we were tied for first place and right on Zach and his team's heels. But what came next, we were not ready for at all. Welcome to the Dust Bowl.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This will be your 5th event, counter mobility. You will, as a team, create an obstacle plan with a limited supply of materials in order to stop an enemy advance. You will be using HE equipment, heavy equipment, as well as concertina wire, short and long pickets, and barbed wire. You have to come together as a team, develop a strategy in order to stop the enemy advance.
Then we got to work, and let me tell you, this was work. We were hauling, pulling, bouncing, and tying wire while hammering posts into the ground under the blazing sun. I actually felt like I was Shia LaBeouf in holes, truthfully. But we were doing this to protect our team from the enemy. We had to hustle to create perfect obstacles, and one had to be a triple strand C-wire, one cattle fence, and we had to create a double strand of C-wire. Our team ended up taking about 3 hours to finish setting up all the obstacles because we actually added a few extra obstacles to confuse the enemy. We were hoping it would pay off with holding them up and help us increase that time it would take them to run the obstacle. We thought that was the end of a very long, stressful, and sandy day, but
Marines are constantly tested for their ability to think on their feet and to react to ever-changing conditions. After an already hard day of training, you will be too. You aren't going to your hotel rooms tonight. You're sleeping in the field. But not just sleeping, each of you will be assigned a period of night watch. In other words, guard duty. This means getting up in the middle of the night to ensure there's always a watchful eye, alert and ready.
For real?
For real. This is your home for tonight. Correct.
I really don't think anything can truly prepare you for staying the night. I think we've done a lot of prep for daytime stuff, but I mean, I grew up camping, so for me, this is just kind of another thing. Every night we have been going back to the hotel, so I'm really excited to be giving back to them because they have been doing so much for us, so being able to stand fire watch and be there alongside them through the night and wake up with them tomorrow morning is honestly really exciting and truly an honor.
Look up. Checking down fire watch within the next 10 minutes. So you need to be up, have your cameras on, your boots on, everything ready to go. Now I'm going to give you the instructions right before. You and your whole team will be standing, so you need to make sure you get them up, have them ready to go too in the next 10 minutes.
Me too. I feel like I took one of my coffee naps. Those are my favorite, where I chug a coffee and then I take a nap and then I wake up. So I think I fell asleep for like 40 minutes.
You know, there's still tomorrow. Tomorrow's the biggest and most important piece where everything is put together, and we did the crawl, we did the walk, and now we've done the run, which is kind of all the stuff, and now I feel like we're doing the sprint.
well, we made it through the night. We were tied with Fireteam 1, Zach's team, and I knew if we were to win as a team, we had to get the best time.
We've had our coffee, we're ready to start the day. It's gonna be great, it's gonna be good. I'm feeling energetic. I feel like we're gonna go crush this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your 6th and final event. Every Marine is a rifleman, and their primary mission is to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy. And that's what we're gonna do today. Today you will be breaching an obstacle plan, but not the one you created, the one your competitors created. Your goal is to breach all of the obstacles in your path so that follow-on forces can continue the advance forward. This is the culmination of everything you have learned thus far. The scoring is tight, and this event will ultimately determine the fire team that comes out on top.
We've crawled, we've walked, we've run, and now we're sprinting to get the fastest time. We got this.
What Cervantes and Spencer had on their backs is called an APOB, an anti-personnel obstacle breaching system, which is a 130-pound, two-man portable system capable of rapidly breaching complex obstacles. The wild part here is that one of their backpacks contains the rocket motor launching rod and the other contains a giant line of charge segments and 60 attached grenades. That's right, we're laying a line of grenades with a rocket. The grenades are attached to the rocket and neutralize or clear the mines and sever wire, effectively clearing a footpath for our team to go through. Setting up these explosives is dangerous. It requires knowledge and procedure steps to ensure you and your team get to the other side safely. Since Cervantes and Spencer were in charge of laying these explosives, it was mine and Lewis's jobs to run through and make sure that our guys ran with their left foot on the line to get to the other side. I also took on the responsibility of listening for this whistling sound, which is an artisan round, which is an incoming explosive. So I was in charge of telling my team to get down while they were laying explosives. After a long and challenge-filled week, we'd reached the end, but we still didn't know who'd won inside the battle.
And for our winner, Grace's team, Team 3, step forward. Congratulations, you guys took it home. Grace, continuously saw you out there. I heard your voice more than anybody out here, right? Everybody come to me, left foot on tape, right? I heard it the whole time. Great job.
Working as a team was incredible. I learned a big lesson this week, aka the emotions. Your ego is not your friend. You have to have a team that supports you and is there for you. Winning first was great, but knowing what we learned this week together as a team was more impactful, truthfully.
This was the most life-changing week I had ever experienced. The Marines taught me the value of community, communication, trust, and teamwork. To anyone out there looking for community and like-minded individuals, the Marines might be the place for you. A huge thank you to all the combat engineers that worked with us all week, and especially to my Fire Team 3, TJ, Cervantes, and Spencer, for fighting alongside me all week. You changed my life perspective and taught me how to tackle uncertainty and how to overcome obstacles mentally and physically. I literally couldn't have done it without you homies.